See, I'm trying to finish up these classes for database, but I'm getting some weird error that it's just unexpected token, this and that. I can try reload window. Sometimes that corrects the error. Because there's not really a formatting error there. It's misinterpreting a blank line. We try to always keep just 2 spaces in between classes. Nice formatting. No blank line. Okay. Alright, so that seemed to work. Now let's double check where we're at now and wrap up the implementation of our initial UML. See how we're starting to keep booleans in one order, and then dates, and then strings. This is a helpful practice. I can't tell you how many times I have to look back in, and if things are organized by type in the class model, it does help you identify all of this. Okay, membership. Membership, does that have a user backref? Yeah. Let's double check on that. Here the user is up. User. Okay, has membership. So because that relationship, there is a relationship between the membership and the user, and it exists entirely in the user file in main.py, and it isn't noted here, that can be confusing. Backref user. So what I mean by this is, if I looked up a membership, I'd be able to use, and I saved it to a variable m. I could do m.user, and that would access this membership's associated user. I wouldn't be able to tell that that relationship exists just from here, because it's backrefed or pushed upon the membership object by this command. That means we do that because to clean up potential import errors. Because this file imports all of the other classes in our database. It's importing character, but it's also importing membership and what else? And character and membership, right? It's importing these two. So that means this file can import from user from this one, because it's already being, the way Python structures the imports, you can't import from each other. There are ways you can set up intermediate files to help facilitate that. So we could work around this. But one way is to use a backref. So that way this file does both ends of the relationship. The backref pushes its and the user connection onto the membership object. So we just put a note here to know that that's the case. So we don't need to keep double checking. Okay, and now I'm also going to move this so that booleans come first. Yeah, let's move IDs always, so keys come first, and then toggles or booleans, and then time, and then relationships, and then like strings and text, but this doesn't have any right here. Okay, so we've got that. I think membership is just about done. Yes, now let's look at the big one, log. Okay, yeah, log, and I think this might be our last one. Okay, so log has a bunch of foreign keys, 1, 2, 3, 4 foreign keys. That's the factor that it ties a lot of things together. It's your attendance on that session. So we know what character wrote it. We're going to know what user wrote it. So this is the character that they're playing. We'll know what campaign it belonged to. We'll need to know what membership it was a part of. So membership ID. So membership, that ID. Okay. Yeah, so those are the 4 foreign keys, and then it's going to have title, subtitle, body, and text. I don't know if a log entry needs a subtitle. I mean, it doesn't hurt to build it in if we don't use it. That's fine. Title, subtitle. Okay, membership ID. Title, subtitle, slug. I don't think we need a slug. Body, description, body, image, group ID. Yeah, we're gonna need that. Group ID will determine if you can only, unless you're the, well, the ID looks as confusing. It's not a foreign key. Maybe we should just call it just group, not group ID. Yeah, just group. Okay, and then some times created on. Okay, default none. Default should be now, right? Yeah, created on should be by default. It should always be when it was the current time of the database. It'll call that function and add the current time to when it was created. We always store everything in UTC, Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so session date. Session date created on. I wonder what we should do. Session. Why not? Well, you can do session on, and then note the time. But why don't we, just in case, also have a property for session number, and so that way it gives us some options on how we want to note your attendance. So let's say, how many sessions did you attend, and in what order? We could order them by the date that they were created and hope every log has a similar enough date to know that these were all of the log entries from the same session. Or we could number the sessions. So that way, if you missed a number and went from 5 and then to 7, then we know you missed one because everyone else has a session counter. Maybe that's the number. We could add that to the campaign as well. So what's the current session? That way we can, when you create a new log entry, it takes that number and then increments that. So maybe we can, I don't know. Once we start programming out and testing it, we might find that one approach is easier to implement than another. So I just want to provide some options. We can always remove a column in the database very easily. So we'll call this session count. So that's the total number of sessions. So that way we'll keep that, and the default is 0, not none. Let's give it an actual number to start with, rather than null pointer. Okay. Same thing with booleans. You always want to be always give booleans a default, otherwise it's such a headache, because the none value, now instead of a true or false, there's a third option, is it also none? And that can make some complications. So whenever we're adding in booleans, you need to make sure that you're giving it a default value, otherwise it turns into a headache, and a headache I'm sick of having in all my projects. Oh, there's an error here. In this logs, this has to be singular. This actually connects to this class. It has to be the same. So the logs object, so a membership can have many logs, and it back populates this membership. So a log can only have a single membership. So it's got to connect to this thing. So it must be singular. So membership connects to log. So membership dot logs. Yeah. And so this back populates logs. And this is a connection to the membership class. So I have a membership.logs. One membership, many logs. One log, one membership. Yeah. Okay. So logs, membership. All right. Yeah. And now we just need the backref set up on this log. So up here in main, we can say, okay, memberships and you can have many log entries. It connects to the log class and it backrefs the user. And that means up here, I need to import this as well. So log. So that we're talking about 3 backrefs, right? We just have 3. And plus post, but that's in the same class. Let's fix that order. So, okay. All right, so these are the 3 backrefs we added to the main class. Otherwise, main has been left alone. We haven't added any special information we might need for the game. Let's see. Let's check to see. Is there anything that the user needs? Not that I see. So cool. Yeah, there's an about instead of bio. I'm just going to change this here. Okay. Cool. Now let's see if we can stand up the database. So the first thing I need to do, bring up here, make sure my virtual environment is active and I don't see it. So source VMware scripts, activate, boom. And now I say, okay, Flask DB, note the migration. So check the historical database. So that's why you had to Flask init beforehand, and I don't see a migrations folder here. Are you kidding me? I thought I swear I set up a migrations. But it looks like my database isn't initialized. So I can't track changes because there's no migration folder here. You're kidding me. So I just had to destroy the database, right click and drop it, and now create a new one. Same thing, db-star site. That's fine. And now create a new one. Super. I didn't really lose any data, so it's not a major deal at all. But I don't want to keep doing that because eventually I'm going to want to construct some practice data. So let's see if the app runs. It probably won't. I would be shocked if it did because all of these I haven't tested. So, but it'll create all of the tables. Oh, will it? It will only create it if it sees it when the app first starts. So, yeah, see here I'm ordering this, and now I should import the rest of them. And so models dot. So yep, it's got all 4 of them. So also import these. Cool. Now that's imported into the context here. So when I say init app and then make all the tables, somewhere here, create all, it knows what tables to make. Ha! I got it running. Get out of town. All right. Now before I forget, I need to initialize my database migration tracker. So Flask db init, and now I should have migrations folder. There we go. Thank goodness. And now the database is standing up and upright. So everyone else needs to do Flask db migrate, and then after that works, this won't no changes detected. So Flask db upgrade, and I can run this again, and it'll again say, "Hey, there's nothing that you can do here." You need to make sure you do that. It'll be ignored on Git, so that it doesn't get synced up. Okay, and we have put our initial database online.